Time is now 10 minutes after 4. I just cleared at the airport. I've had an interesting night. I think it was my third or fourth trip. I think it was my fourth trip. I got sent to the girls' school, the private girls' school, the one called St. Margaret's. And there was this girl, I think she was carrying a violin case, and she gets in and says, "I'm going to the ferries. Can I make it?" Now the time was 8:30, and the ferry leaves at 9. And the thing is, as a walk-on passenger, you have to be at the ferry buying your ticket 10 minutes before it sails. So I had basically 20 minutes to get there from St. Margaret's School. So, I pulled in the anchor and just let her rip. And we made it with 5 minutes to spare. At 8:45, she was getting out of the cab. So she got on the ferry. Then there weren't many cars there, so I decided to wait in line. I was third in line for about 45 minutes, and then the car in front of me disappeared. Then I went, then I sat there, and I was second in line, and they were trying to send me into Sydney, but I wasn't going to go, because who knows where the trip in Sydney is going to go to? Probably nowhere. So I waited, and I was rewarded for my waiting. I waited until just after 11 when the next ferry came in. So I had been there for 2 hours. And that one went all the way downtown. Good trip. It was $77 on the meter, and I got $87 for doing that. Then I had a few trips. As time goes on, you have a few trips. And then I even watched quite a bit of video. I went to sleep a few times. And now I had a trip. And I was just going back to my spot, and I got intercepted by this call. And he came out to the airport. So that worked out all right. Got a $6 tip on that one. So now I got $300 on, which is okay. I'm not complaining. If it's $250 or more, it's okay. If it's less than $250, that's kind of weak. So I've got an hour and 45 minutes left of my shift. 20 minutes of that will be driving back into town. And I'll probably take a few people to work before I quit for the morning. Four nights to go this week. It was a slowish night. There were a lot of short trips. And I did have a one longer one, which kind of helped. And I did have some great generosity from my generous customer. Well, the story started last Thursday night when my generous customer's buddy was in the cab with him, and he lost his phone. Another customer came along, found the phone, and told me that he had the phone. Okay, so I had to turn it in at the office, and because we have the outsourcing, I had to wait till 6 o'clock until somebody was in there. Great. Now tonight, I hear a phone ringing somewhere, and I look for it. I get distracted by a call, so I go do the call, and then I look for the phone some more, and it's turned out to be deep under my seat, right beneath my seat. And I took that phone and I tried to find out whose it was, and the thing was locked, so I couldn't open it and find out whose it was. And at one point it rang at me again, and I tried to answer it, but it wouldn't let me. It rang and rang, and I slid the thing to answer it, and then it just went click after I said hello. So I was not the person that they were expecting, I think. Oh yeah, here we are, construction again. So, yeah, my generous customer called. Him and his buddy went to his buddy's place again, and then I took generous customer home, and he says, can I... his buddy, okay, for a $25 fare, gave me, not even a $25, it was a $15 fare, gave me 40 bucks. Then my generous customer, when we were at his driveway, he gave me another $50. The total was about 25. So I got $90 for a $25 fare. And then with those $90, if not for that $90, I would have had only about 240 on. But that helped a lot. And then he says, can you come in for a few minutes? I said, yeah. Well, I ended up going in with him for about half an hour. And he was just complaining that he went to the office to pick up his buddy's phone, but that he couldn't do it because he had called me on my day off. And I told him, yeah, that I did drop the phone off at the office. So they tried to go on Saturday, but because on Saturday nobody was in the office, he couldn't get the phone for his buddy. Anyway, long story short, now I have another phone right here. This one is, I got to drop that off in the morning, and that's going to be a little difficult because I've got my chiropractor appointment first. So I got my chiropractor appointment. Now I'm going to go to the car wash. I'm going to wash the car. I'm going to go to the bank and deposit some money, and I'm going to detail the interior. And after I've detailed the interior, I have to go fuel it up and park it, and then get to my chiropractor's appointment. And then I guess after the chiropractor's appointment, I'll go down to our office and I will drop off this stupid phone that I got. So I keep getting these phones, and I can't just turn them in at the office because there's nobody there. That's stupid. Real stupid. It's a waste of my time. I can't go at my convenience anymore. I don't like that. I really don't like that. Okay, 3 more nights to go after this one. Time is now 5:14. 5:14 in the morning, and I've got, what did I say, $360 on? Something like that. And that's really good because earlier on tonight, I stopped at a red traffic light and I was going to make a left turn. And I was waiting for the traffic light to change. And as the traffic light was still red, I was not moving. I witnessed a collision that was ahead of me and to the left. And these two cars bounced off of each other in the intersection ahead of me and to the left. And one of them came right at me and ended up hitting the door on the driver's side. Completely dented in the bottom of the door. Got part of the back door too, and I think he got part of the fender as well. Anyway, so I was, you know, it just happened. Just like, zoom. Suddenly there's a car hitting me. Definitely not my fault because I was stopped. I was waiting for the light to change. One of those guys had run the red, and I think it was the car that was coming in the opposite direction from which I was pointing, because the one car was creeping out into the intersection. He wasn't going very fast, and suddenly, boom! There's a big collision. So I lost about an hour sitting there waiting for them to pull that car away from me, and they told me to drive into the parking lot on the side of the road, which I did. Then a police officer came along and started taking pictures of the side of the car, and started and asked me for my driver's license and my address and phone number and all those other particulars. Then, when we determined that the car was still drivable, I figured, I'll keep working. I'm not going to go home just because I had my door dented in. So that's what I did. I kept working. And that was 7 and a bit hours ago. Now I'm in my last hour of the night. I will also get a picture of the damage so that you can see it. Anyways, it has been an eventful night, like I said. How much did I say I had? 300 and something on. So I did well. Most of the trips that I had were of a decent length, and I've only done like 17 trips, but most of them were of a decent length. I guess the average is about $20. Yeah, that's a good average. Very good average. And I have a green light. So now I'm coming into downtown. So I dropped off on Dallas Road, down by the ocean, on the other side of which is Port Angeles, Washington State. So I'm heading north on Douglas and heading back to part of town that I usually work in. I'm going to see if there's anyone at our office. Because we're outsourced, I couldn't go to the office and file an accident report. I had to wait till the office is open. So hopefully there's somebody there already. Well, it's not 6 yet, so maybe I'll get sent to pick up the person who works in the office starting at around 6 o'clock. I mean, I have picked her up before and taken her to work. And so I need to get in there to file an accident report. I actually left a message for the owner of the cab. I left him a voicemail because he has to know about this. And I said, call me in the morning and I'll explain what happened. Anyways, don't have much more to talk about right now. I'm just gonna, we'll see if I have 2 more nights to work this week. I might have some time off while this thing is being repaired. And who knows if they're gonna do it right away. They have to put a claim in with the insurance and so on and so on. And there's a police report number that I gotta quote. And yeah. I hate doing the paperwork for these things. I don't enjoy being involved in things like this. I was just innocently waiting for my red light to turn green. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Richardson, no, sorry. Send somebody else. Well, I'm at the airport. The time is now 5:06. I didn't have a very good night. at the beginning. It was kind of slow, and the part I really didn't like was I was being sent long distances to get people. And every time I'd want to pull into the parking lot to relax and maybe watch a video or just take a breather, I'd get another call and get sent a long distance. And well, just how it started, I had a fare right away, and I took the customer to the hospital, and then picked up another one right there at the hospital. She was right there and got right in, and she went downtown. And downtown, there was a guy who said, "Can I get in?" Oh, okay. And he gave me his address where he was going. And we got there, and he didn't have any money. And he called his brother to come out. His brother didn't have any money. And he says, "I'll get some money for you." And I said, "Yeah, okay." He says, "Come back in 10 minutes. I'll have some money for you." Well, I had a job to do already. I had I had to pick up this personal customer who called me directly and pick her up and take her where she was going. And then there was one point where I got sent. I had taken a break finally. I was able to take a break. I got sent to the other hospital. So I'm going to the hospital, and I'm almost there, and I receive a call on my phone from the customer saying, "I hope you realize that I'm at the Jubilee Hospital, not the Vic General." And I say, "Well, it says on my tablet here, Vic General. So I'm going to Vic General." And she says, "Well, I'm at Jubilee." I said, "Okay, I'm going to call our overseas dispatch and tell them that you're not at the hospital where they sent me to. And then I will call you back and tell you what's going on." So I called overseas and told them that they're sending me to the wrong hospital. They said, the customer said, at the Vic General. Well, no, sorry. She's at the Jubilee. Send a car to the Jubilee. Then I called the customer and I said, "Yeah, you should be getting one soon. I told them to send you a car to the Jubilee." Right, so then it slowed down, and I was able to go to sleep finally, and tried watching videos and fell asleep watching them. And then I got a call at just after 2:30, I think it was. This guy went out to Souk for $80, which really helped. And then I had some shorter fares in the morning hours, and one right after another for a while. And then when I was just starting to take a break again, I got sent to a motel. And that motel call brought me to the airport. So here I am. Now I can get back into town and finish my night. It's almost over. I've got about $380 on, which is all right. I'm not complaining. I'm just tired of working, that's all. And one more night to go this week. It's Friday morning. It's about 6:30. Yeah, that's about right. I had one of those nights where it was just exhausting. It started out with longer trips. Uh-oh. Why did this go out? Oh. Oh, well, it's telling me my battery's too low to use flash. My battery's at 15%, and that's because I was watching some videos during the night, and I got quite a few phone calls, and I was watching videos, and so my phone is telling me now that I don't have enough battery to run the light. So hopefully you can see me just a little bit as I walk past the street light. Anyway, the night was busy. I had some longer trips at the beginning, and it was exhausting. It was tiring because I didn't get that much chance to sleep, and I did fall asleep 2 or 3 times, but too soon I got another call, and you know, it was one of those where I was so tired I was just cursing every time I got a call. Couldn't stand it. So now I'm just exhausted. I finished my night. I had about $440 on, which is really good amount. I won't starve, and I'll have enough to drink, and my rent will be paid. Actually, I just paid my rent. What else? Oh, yeah, I got a big income tax bill coming up in the middle of December, but now it's only the end of October, so it's not so bad. Hopefully you can see a bit of me now as I pass under this street lamp here, and hopefully I have the camera pointed in the right direction to do this. Oh yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm just done for. I had, yeah, just enough, just too much. And having to travel long distances to pick up people too was a pain. Yeah, another one of those weeks where I'm just exhausted and glad it's over. Hope yours is better than mine.